We're joined by Interior Stylist Sara Austin to talk Christmas trends for 2024 and how to get your home ready for the festive season. Sara, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure, Claire.
It's lovely to have you here. We've all been fawning over your beautiful home in our December issue, admiring your stunning work. Do you enjoy decorating your house for Christmas?
Yes, of course, Claire. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. Can I just say, it's a joy to decorate a home for Christmas. Christmas is such a like a nostalgic, lovely time of year. That anyone who enjoys decorating their home throughout the year, of course, is going to put in special effort when it comes to the festive season. So to be here today talking about what we do at home is a pleasure.
Yeah. And then putting your work hat on, Sara, what do you think are going to be the big trends that we're going to be seeing for Christmas 2024?
Okay, when I talk about trend, and especially when it comes to Christmas, I don't really like to think of them as trends to follow, but themes to inspire. I think really I'm a bit sceptical about trends, as in the high street really want us to buy into the latest fad, the latest thing. It's a bit of a trap to fall into. And I think what's really important when you're decorating at home, at any time of the year, but especially at Christmas, is to know your own style and feel comfortable in that. Identify what are the colours that you like, what is your style, and really transfer that into your Christmas decor. So when I'm talking about trends today, I would say use these as ideas to inspire, incorporate them into your style, but don't feel that you should follow them religiously. It shouldn't feel like an identikit kind of Christmas.
Kind of pick and choose.
Exactly,
and make it work for you.
I think that's what makes things really unique and really interesting, is where people are able to blend different themes and looks together. One of the key themes that I really love this Christmas is the heritage trend. It suits really well in our Victorian home. But I think whether you've got the grand mantelpiece or whether you have a cosy living room, I think this trend is so traditional Christmas, that kind of feeling of getting your old Christmas decorations down from the attic, treasured possessions, things that you've gathered over the years and that you really love them. You're talking about vintage glass decorations, lots of leafy greenery in this trend, lots of red. Of course, burgundy is a trend colour that we've seen come through really strongly through 2024. Everybody's talking about it through autumn, and I think that's really going to carry through into the winter. So definitely 100% I'll be backing this trend at home. I'd say the next thing would be, I think interiors trends really influence how we decorate our homes at Christmas time. And in 2024 we've also seen the rise of browns and toffees and cinnamon tones. At Christmas there's always that elegant kind of sophisticated shimmery iridescent trend that people go into, and I think for this year we're going to see that update with more browns, more toffees, lovely peach tones, really feminine, really elegant, lots of sparkle that's going to take you through Christmas and into the new year. A trend that I know that the high street is really backing, and it's not for everybody, would be the Quirky and kitsch trend. Even John Lewis this year have apparently launched their first pink Christmas tree. Right. So lots of quirky colour, lots of pattern clashing. As a destination for this, Rock at St George are really great. They always have really quirky interiors pieces. Where we're seeing oversized decorations being really key for this year. They have done amazing, really statement hologram folding paper decorations that are just have the wow factor. For this trend, you're really clashing those patterns, so lots of bright, bold colour and stripes, candy canes, that kind of thing.
Gonna have to be very brave for that one.
I think I'm not brave enough, Claire, for that one, to be honest. I'm quite happy to stick in my heritage territory. My next trend was Nordic. So for the minimalists amongst us, when you don't want to go all out, when you're not ready for quirky and kitsch, Nordic is all about having lots of natural finishes, lots of raw wood, natural green, spruce kind of tones, and bring foliage into your interior decor scheme. So where your interiors are minimal, having just like a one-off, lovely oversized branch in a vase, something like that could look really, really calm and effective without feeling overwhelming. And so one of the biggest trends is super bows. Last year, in 2023, we saw this start to come through. It was all over social media. This year I've been watching to see, will that continue? And I think it's continued, and actually it will build into a bigger thing. We're talking bigger bows, we're talking more bows.
And what are we doing with the bows, Sarah? Are they going on the trees? Are we just placing them around the place? How are we using the bows then?
Claire, everything.
Okay.
So this year we'll be using them as tree toppers. We're looking at oversized tree toppers. Also great on a front door if you want to use them in place of a wreath or with your wreath. And we're also looking at micro bows as well, so where you've got a lovely garland. And last year I think we had used dried fruit and things like that to accessorise our garland. This year we're going to be looking at micro bows dotted throughout the mantle garlands.
Okay, so we will look out for bows then.
Indeed.
Have you any must buy or have to have pieces when it comes to Christmas, Sarah? Either whether it's buying something new or something that every year when you get it down from the roof space, it's the kind of centrepiece of everything else comes around it.
I tend not to buy too many new decorations. I will buy a couple of really statement things that I know that will add to that collection, and each year I'll bring them back down. Of course, every year we have a real tree. That's a must-have to us. I'd say this year it's all about oversized paper decorations, whether that's stars, folding decorations, and then also more vintage glass baubles. They're not cheap to buy to get the right ones, but buy statement investment ones that you're going to love forever.
So you've talked through some of our top trends there, and I'm listening to you thinking, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one. How does a person narrow it down then? How do we decide? How do we begin our decorative process?
Okay, so my background's always been in design, and so I'm a big advocate for mood boarding. Mood boarding used to be just something designers would do, but now there's so many brilliant apps out there. There's so much access on social media, to Pinterest, to lots of amazing imagery, so anybody can do that. And I really suggest mood boarding because it helps you really narrow down what feels right to you, what feels right in your home, and indeed what you don't want as well. It's really easy to kind of cast off ideas you thought, I love that in the shop, but it's not going to work for me. Beyond that, the new magazines come out at the end of November with lots of inspiration. So I tend to begin maybe, don't laugh Claire, in October. Thinking about how I want my Christmas to look, and then I'll build on that as the new magazines come out to get some new season inspiration.
I suppose one of my fears was starting early, particularly if I started in October, Sarah. How do you know when to stop? Or is it Christmas, it's just more is more, just keep going?
I would say do stop.
More isn't more.
More isn't more. I think it's really, when you're planning anything, when you're planning like say a redecoration project, I think it's really good to start something, build those mood boards, take stock, reflect on it, move away from it. You've got other things to do in the run up to Christmas, and then I think whenever you're ready to start, the physical decoration project, you're full of inspiration, you've got it all sitting there ready to go, and you're just ready to fly at it and really enjoy the process.
Okay, we've touched on it a little bit, some brilliant places to shop, all these new trends. It would be very easy to get carried away. How do we keep our homes feeling fresh and incorporate some of these new trends while still trying to be sustainable? Because obviously it's such an issue at the minute, and we all want to be a bit more mindful, I think, in what we're doing. Yeah,
definitely. I think how we are approaching our Christmas decoration, how we're approaching any decoration at home, everyone is thinking much more about sustainability. So yes, one of the things that we are doing at home this year is, of course, I gather up loads of wallpaper samples for different projects that we're working on throughout the year. Some of those we're going to be using to make our own DIY decorations. And of course, when you've got like lovely wallpaper patterns that maybe you've been looking at for your own home, they're going to sit really well. That's your taste, that's going to look much better than anything you're going to buy in a shop. When we worked to create the mantelpieces with Catherine Miller, the florist, last year, one of her tips for me, and I loved this, was that if you don't have time to make a wreath, to do a big stair garland, why not make a swag? And I looked and I said, Catherine, but what's a swag? And she said, well, just grab a bunch, take your shorter stemmed florals to the front, use your longer pieces to the back, tie it together tightly with a lovely velvet bow, and then hang that over your door, hang it at the front of the stairwell or over a mirror, and And it's a great way to use up, say, offcuts from your Christmas tree, or pieces from your garden as well.
Yeah, it's a great style hack then.
I like that one, yeah.
Absolutely. So it's just about making careful choices really and trying to use what we've got. I love with the wallpaper suggestion too. It's an activity really for the whole family. You could be involving little ones in that too.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's what Christmas is about, is kind of to be able to make your own things at home rather than feel like you're just buying into something. And I think it creates a much more individual feeling, which is really special. That's priceless.
Absolutely. And maybe that kind of perfectly undone look is slightly nicer than just everything sitting immaculately like a show home. It's nicer to have that kind of family feel and those memories behind the pieces.
Yeah.
And last of all, Sarah, now this is a bit of a controversial one. When should the Christmas tree go up? When do we start decorating?
Okay, so for us at home, we tend to decorate the last week of November, and we do that so that we can just chill and enjoy the festive season. December is a really busy time of year anyway, so to get that out of the way in the end of November, it's always kind of a feeling of relief in some ways to me, to just be able to sit back and enjoy it. That's not to say, Claire, that I don't feel a little bit embarrassed when I'm the first house on the street with our wreath on our door.
Oh, I can't imagine you're the first house if you're starting then. They seem to go up earlier and earlier every year, no?
No, well, yes, perhaps. But I think there's no right or wrong answer. It's all down to the individual and what suits you. But yeah, if you want to post it on Instagram, you better start in November.
Get it up early. Beat the rush. Sarah, thank you so much. There's some brilliant tips there and some really great insight into the trends and things that we'll definitely be looking out for this festive season.
Pleasure. Have a lovely Christmas.
Thank you, you too.